Ooh, does that mean we're live now, Dylan? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 11 of Lawnhub Live at Brunch today.
I don't like it. It's too early.
Sorry.
I've got shit to do.
Yeah.
How do I edit this email? I'm just finishing off an email blast to all of those of you that subscribe to Jonesy's weekly email. If you are not currently subscribed, I suggest you jump on and take advantage of his weekly specials and his educated views on the lawn world as it stands weekly.
Yeah.
This email is needing editing. Hey, legends, this is a heads up that we are going live now.
Right now.
So if you want to see behind the scenes, yesterday Kira drafted me an email so that I could send it out. I chose to do my life after work life. Went to kids basketball, went out for dinner and didn't do this. This is a heads up that we are now live. So I'm just sending out an email. We probably should mention, talk about your bubbles, your bubbly mouth water there.
Oh, yes, we have Captain Kurt Springwater as our sponsor. Again, thank you, Captain Kurt. It's actually quite nice. I know Clint pays me out about it because I live in Gawler and, it's a bit bougie and, it's a bit spicy with the bubbles a minute 30 yet.
Oh, man, I can't forget. What's the rules around that? So, hey, legends, this is a heads up. We're now live across all platforms. Hopefully this works. This is probably going to upset someone because I've done a spelling mistake. Changes need to be saved. I hope this works.
The email list is so big now, it takes up to 5 minutes to complete the full send now.
All right. So, sorry if you get an email late, but we are trying to share the podcast. If you have tuned into the podcast in the past and you are enjoying the podcast, leaving reviews for the podcast helps us reach more people. And then obviously guarantees Jonesy's employment for another 7 days.
Yes.
Send now. So anyone that's interested in asking questions, please comment on our lives. Kira is working from home, punching them through for us, and Dylan is holding all the other forts here. Until we get those questions, we have Liv coming up here.
Yes. And the Masters is on right now.
Yeah. Matt was watching. That's what Matt was doing instead of working this morning. Makes sense.
So the official start to the golf season.
What's... Kira said no questions have come through. It's because it's 10 in the morning. People are like, why would you do a podcast now? I'm actually like, I can pretend to work in the afternoon, but the job I have, I can't pretend to work in the morning.
Got to get all my work done before Lawnhub Live at lunch.
A bunch of question marks in front of the description. Who put that there? Is that me? That looks so shit. Oh, it's an emoji turned into question marks. Well, that's cool. We can talk about other stuff. So I hate these headphones. Oh, I hate these headphones so much. So so the reason we're doing Lawnhub Live at 10 o'clock, which is stupid and we won't do it again, I'm sorry, is because Jonesy's got to go to a golf day.
Yes.
Because he's selfish.
No, I asked for permission first. I didn't, what's the saying?
Ask for forgiveness over permission?
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, so I asked for permission first and got the all clear and organised someone to close DC and bada bing, bada boom. But yes, the Masters, so good. Love the Masters. It's the best major championship out of the four.
What's the difference between that and the other three?
I suppose just the
grass is greener.
Exclusive. Oh, that's a big word for Adam. Exclusivity.
Someone's stolen your vocabulary.
Yeah, well, it's what 7 days out of meds does.
I'm like nearly 8 weeks out of my meds.
That's good. And then, I don't know. It's just a bit specialer. The Masters, the field isn't as big. Augusta National is very special. It's just, hopefully one day we get there.
Why wouldn't we be? Can you just go?
So there's
like a ballot?
There's 2 ways of going. Yeah, you can go on a ballot. There's 3 ways of going. You can go on a ballot.
You could play.
Okay, there's 4 ways. There's a ballot. You could play. You could go to like these travel agents who
sell packages
that go, or you could pay stupid money to buy someone's ticket.
So someone gets a ticket in the ballot and they're like 20 grand, you can have my ticket.
Yeah, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Yeah.
Depends. I suppose as like, for example, 2019 when Tiger was in the last group and you weren't going on the Sunday and someone was like, you want to go? Those tickets could have sold for 50, 60, 70 grand.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think once you get in the ballot, I've only read this, I'm not sure if it's right, but then just say you went in the ballot, you got your ticket.
Yeah.
Then next year you've already got your ticket.
And until you stop going.
Yeah,
Which is kind of how a lot of events work, like the V8s and that. It's smart because it ensures that you keep having people come and
I think if
creates
there's
that exclusivity.
I think if there's one thing in the world of golf, I don't think Augusta National will ever run out of a crowd, to be honest.
What do you reckon? What kind of numbers do they get in there? Like they wouldn't go crazy?
Maybe 30, 40,000.
So it's tight.
Yeah.
Because Liv was more than that, or will be this year.
Yeah. There's more room at Grange though than there is at Augusta, but...
And the money you spend on your ticket, you save on sandwiches.
Yeah, that's right, because they're still $1.50 and the drinks are still $1 and all that stuff.
That's perfect.
All the hospitality. But the merch tent, just like Liv, I think,
that's where they make their money.
Yeah, that's where they make a lot of their money because it's all probably made in the same factory, but...
By slaves. We're past a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, Dylan and I were having this chat the other day. Is it really hurtful if it's truthful? Like it's not really mean, like, if it's true.
people don't want
No, they don't.
that kind of highlighted. There's 4 questions on Instagram. I'll start working through those. We're going to give away a spray pack. I don't know what Kira promised.
Before we get started, I did get a comment. I'll keep the person's name anonymous because just in case they didn't want it read out live. But I think it's very good feedback for us, Clint, and it's something that I agree with. So he said, or she said, I tune in most weeks and just some feedback that the crowdsourced questions are starting to get duplicated now.
Yep.
And can get tedious to watch at times. Otherwise, content is all good. And I agree with that, but unfortunately, because it's live, it's unvetted.
I can vet live. I can just not ask questions that have been asked before.
But then I sort of suppose we always say, you know, if you got a question, ask it, we'll answer it. So I can see both sides of the fence. But that person who put that through, I agree, and we'll do our best.
I'll start working through the Instagram ones for now. Can you mute your laptop? Attitude 181. When will you do some lawn plans?
I'll hopefully get them all completed this winter, ready for spring. So leading up to spring, there hopefully be enough.
Don't we do lawn plans?
Yeah, I mean we got the full load.
But you want to do something a little bit more.
A little bit more targeted, bit more scripted.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Tips on laying to Homer 31 in Victoria. Is it too late? Too late now.
I mean, you can lay turf any time of the year. The only thing that I would suggest is just make sure that you have sufficient soil sub-base, so whether that's like at least 100 mil. The deeper you go, the better. Get the cherry popper pack and just go from there. Just, make sure, regardless of the turf that you're laying, make sure the soil is primo because just like I've said before, it's like the foundations of a house. If you stuff the foundations up, you're doomed.
You have a lawn like mine.
You have a lawn like Clint's.
All right, so there's questions coming through. So obviously, you know, I'm all about continuous improvement. So we can start doing multiple segments in the podcast.
Yes.
So we could do some questions and then we can do some other stuff. We can talk about stuff. And hopefully that makes it less tedious for those of you that have been tuning in from the start. In saying that, as I mentioned last week, we will... just read a line that said Jonesy's load.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll see what the rest of that question is.
I'm assuming it's got something to do with maybe the lawn plan or something.
They're just commenting me. Complimenting me.
Very nice.
Did you
end up messaging Max?
No, I'm fucking useless. I will. Someone will message him for me. I'll get to it. Dude, this is one of my, my management techniques or my leadership techniques is all of these things are all stewing around in pots in my head and then something will happen and like I'll just bump into him or whatever, you know, and just be like, oh, hey, well, I got you.
Yeah. So,
or I'll just do it. So, yeah, we'll have more, we'll probably have almost like a network, right? So Lawnhub's channel will have this kind of podcast where you can tune in and it might be great for people who are just looking to have something in the background that they like to listen to, or, you know, people that are new to it, then it's educational. This podcast also gets harvested to make clips that we can use on social media to be able to educate people based on answers to questions. But then if we've got more, I think rather than potentially stopping this content, we might be better off continuing this platform and starting new content, especially considering we're only 11 episodes in. But also we'll just be conscious of making sure that it's not too repetitive, and maybe we'll speed over those questions. And it might even be worth us having a page on Lawnhub's website of frequently asked questions and have them answered in like video form.
Yeah.
And you can almost search that up so that we kind of cover it off. But I'll try to do a better job of vetting them. Right. Jordan Winks. Recommended lawn care products over winter, and how often should I be applying these products?
Liquids. So the Ultimate Spray Pack comes with an application calendar. I'd be following that. That's probably something that I'm going to be following this winter. I want to get back in. I know, and I say this to customers in the shop, but I know I work here. But yeah, my lawn game back end of this season's been deplorable. So kind of hungry to get back into the front lawn of my little 30 square metres.
Spell deplorable.
Yep. Dictionary, page 75, third line.
All right. The tool shed.
Wee.
When are we getting Lawnhub orange jumpsuits?
It's a very good question. It all comes down to pricing.
Does it?
Yeah.
Have you done any research?
Yes.
Oh, look, there you go. Well, there we go. With your research.
There's no point bringing something to you if the pricing's not
that I'm
there.
going to yell at.
Yeah, so, because I got a story that's probably not safe at 10 o'clock in the morning about my first week. It was all based around pricing and the answer that I got. So I've learnt my lesson.
Can you tell a story with beeps instead of words?
So when I first started, boxes were hot property for Lawnhub, something that it was at that stage where we needed to start buying boxes because a lot of the boxes were recycled. So they were used from Waterpro, stock orders that came in, stock taken out. We had an empty box.
This is based on my theory that everything comes in a box and everything goes out in a box. Yeah. The products don't increase or decrease in size. There should be enough boxes to handle anything we need to do.
Yes.
And if we're buying boxes, it means we're throwing out boxes, which we are.
And it got to the point where I'm not going to say there was no boxes, but there was a very thin amount of boxes, and I needed to buy these boxes. And Clint put me onto this website, rang them, and the price they came back with was like nearly 3 times the price in which they last got that one box at. And the reply I got from Mr. Adams went along the lines of, you tell that person that you'll feed them something that is very precious to them if they don't bring the price down. And the price came down. So, yeah, I learned my lesson. So,
okay.
Yeah.
It does sound like something I would say. There's a lot of these stories popping up at the moment of me saying things.
Yeah, well, like that one yesterday. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I say I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just not appropriate. And most people are like, you can't talk to people like that. I'm like, well, then people shouldn't be so
To be
stupid.
fair, some people do ask for it. So, you know. The soil tests as well, a lot of those reports are starting to come back now. So I'm starting to send out the reports and recommendations. But it seems that there are a lot of people low in the same sort of elements. So I've reached out to our supplier about potentially bagging 5 or 10 to 15 kilo bags of those certain elements.
Oh, yeah.
Because rather than, like we said before, Lawnhub wants to be a one-stop shop.
Do we have square meterages of the test sites, or we don't really know that? We'd have to just go back to them and say, how big's the lawn?
Well, the application rate of the said element doesn't change. It just depends, like if it's extreme.
That's what I'm getting at. Like
if it's relatively and you're just looking to increase it slightly, say sulfate of potash might be 1 kilo per 100 squares. But
that's what I mean. Yeah. So do we sell 1 kilo or do we sell 5?
Well, you'd want to amend it so it'd be continuous application. So you'd want to do it.
So that's fine.
Yeah, but like 10 kilos of that would cost nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's it's not a blend like a blended fertilizer. So, but yeah, I'm still working out the pricing's not the issue. It's just going to be the packaging in which and how we do that.
And shipping. We saw a question come through in our group, in a private chat, or the thing about the instructions. Was that just the customer not being able to find the instructions on how to do a soil test, or was it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. The email was sent from Shopify with the instructions.
I think he was looking. I think in the end he found that he was looking for an email from me instead of from you potentially. Okay. Anyway, all right, cool. All right, let's get these Instagram ones. So, Coco, you're down 2 weeks ago. Mushrooms are coming through all over the place. Product to sort? ?
That's good. That's really good, especially 2 weeks. Your soil must be really good. So if it's just mushrooms, as in like we're not talking like big rings of mushrooms and they're just sporadic all around the place, that's just organic matter breaking down in the soil. Means you have a really healthy soil profile. The only product that I'd probably recommend to get rid of it is just clipping them off with the mower. Yep.
Hayden Tinney. Anyone battled fairy ring? Tried everything and I can't shake it. Ideas? ?
Fairy ring is a soil-borne disease, and it's very difficult to get rid of. We've spoken about it before. Hoffy at Adelaide Oval had it on his Adelaide Oval number 2 cricket square for what he say 6 or 7 years. I think he said he had it for. There is a product that we sell called Impala that is registered to treat fairy ring. All I can say is just make sure you read the product label, because it's not going to be a 1 application. It's probably not going to be 2 applications. It's going to be 3 or 4, and it's going to be in a certain period of time that you need to get on top of it. But yeah, it's a soil-borne disease, and cricket squares get it a lot. Putting greens, bowling greens, shortcut fairways. It's just, try not to, if it's in your front lawn, and I know this isn't feasible for a lot of us, but if it's in the front lawn and not the back lawn, don't use the same mower on the back lawn until the front lawn's under control. I understand that's probably not achievable for a lot of people, but very difficult to get rid of fairy ring.
We haven't got new photos for our background images.
Yeah, it didn't come through.
What do you mean it didn't come through?
OneDrive from the same.
As in we've got it?
Yeah.
We've built one?
Yeah.
All right, that's the Instagram questions that came through. Kira has a bunch of questions here for me to run through, so we will get started. Joey MC on YouTube. Great to see 25 kilo Trojan at Railways this morning. Thank you, Joey. Thanks for commenting and for visiting Railways and supporting Lawnhub.
Absolutely.
Very good. The 25 kilo bags, for anyone that's interested, are available at some of our resellers, but due to the cost of freight, they're not available at all resellers, and they're not available online currently. That might change in time. If there's any resellers that haven't been told about it, reach out. We can sort you out a freight price to get them to you. If you're in South Australia, it might be very achievable. Excuse me. We just had a bacon and egg breakfast with...
It's very heavy.
Yeah, we've curated these bacon and egg brioche, where the brioche buns are the best you can get, the cheese is the best you can get, the bacon is the best you can get, the eggs is the best you can get, and then with that comes this kind of complex heartburn that...
They're just really heavy. It's just really heavy.
You have one and you're like, that was amazing. I reckon I might have another one. And then you have another one and then you go to sleep. Or you shit yourself. Anyway, sorry for the 30% of the listeners we just lost.
Sometimes both.
Hopefully not in that order. Bell is train driver golf on YouTube. Golf shirts ? Head cover for my driver ? All right, so with promotional gear, we try to stay in our lane a little bit. I haven't had a proper conversation with the guys at Golf Gods, but we have met very briefly because I bought some stuff there recently and we've got mutual friends. It won't surprise me if at some point either they make some stuff on our behalf and we'd pay them to do it, or we do some brand deal. And I haven't even spoken to them about this, so I can't guarantee that. I think we're better off doing what we do well and then using what, I guess, companies that do what they do well to help us with that. I have no problems licensing, even at no cost in some cases, the Lawnhub logo to be put on merch so that people can have it for that kind of thing. When we do it, it's kind of a little bit... We don't have the good relationships with the manufacturers, so we can't be competitive, or the quality's not there, and that might change in time. But there's nothing available at the moment, and I get the golf shirts because we've got Live obviously in 2 weeks, and I've been even thinking about making sure I've got a shirt for the Live with a lawn. I was thinking about going at some like ridiculous fluoro orange shirts with Lawnhub on them, or even wearing these
Yeah.
to live, because we'll be in a section on the 12th that'll probably be on TV, computer screens,
Phone screens.
Yeah, so it might be worth it, but we don't have anything yet. Sorry.
Yeah. And like Clint said, if like when I hear the word golf shirt, there's only one brand in my mind that comes to, and that's the FootJoy shirt, and they're not cheap. And if we were to do a run of them, we just wouldn't get the same buying power that, say, someone that does what they do well.
No, what we would do is we'd go find the FootJoy factory in China and get them to make it for us.
Joyfoot.
All right, long one here.
Oh, I got to think.
That's not their name. Nathan Bryce Tasker on Facebook. Which granular products? Hang on a sec. With granular products, how do they absorb into the plant's roots? Do they break down with the initial watering and then are slowly pulled out of the soil by the plant, or do they sit in the soil and slowly break down, releasing over time? There's more additional information. I'm brand new to lawn care, and I've recently done a coring using an impact drill and a 20mm bit. Dethatching overseed Kikuyu perennial rye blend, a 10mm thick top dressing, and I've used a liquid fertilizer, but would like to move up to granulated. I wouldn't necessarily say that's up, but move up to granulated as I don't have a sprayer yet. I'm worried about my twin 8-month-olds. Fucking hell, you got twins at the 8 months old. I would not be worrying about my lawn. Finding little fertilizer treats on the lawn a week after the application. Nathan from Melbourne, fucking Victoria.
Okay, so the first part of that question about how the granules broken down into the soil, you've explained it exactly what happens. So the water will dissolve it, break it down, it'll sit in the soil profile, and then over the next 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the conditions, sometimes up to 12 weeks, depending on the coating of the fertilizer, you'll have a consistent feed. It'll be a controlled release rather than a fast release, and it will continue to feed in the soil. And then after that period of time, you generally will see when a lawn becomes hungry, especially Kikuyu / perennial ryegrass. Perennial ryegrass will get hungry a lot quicker. Their nitrogen and NPK ratio demands are much higher than that of Kikuyu. But yeah, what I'm saying is you'll see when the lawn starts to get hungry. So exactly what you said. Now, if you're worried about prill being on the lawn because you have young ones, this is a tip for everyone, not just our products, but everyone's products. If you run the sprinklers long enough, they will all dissolve and they'll all break down into the soil. So I didn't have any mini fertilizer at my place, so I just put down Trojan and I watered my front yard, which is 30 square metres, for an hour with brown Arvans.
16mm.
Yeah, and there was not a single prill of fertiliser left on my front lawn, which is good because then I didn't want burn because it is very short. If it's longer, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's one way around that. And then...
So there's not prill in Trojan that will just not break down no matter the water? Like it requires...
There is the blue element in it. That is the controlled and real slow release.
That just gets to below the canopy though by watering it in heavily.
But like I watered enough. Like I walked on it and it was quite squelchy. It was it's not recommended, but I didn't want any fertilizer burn. Yeah. And that I think I only found maybe a handful of them. The rest had all washed through or made their way through to the soil, and I just didn't really pay attention. Okay. But anything to do with granular, just more water to help flush it through or break it down, dissolve it.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you do what Jonesy just said and you can't find any fertiliser, it's unlikely that your children will be able to, especially at 8 months. I mean, I don't know if they're crawling. I guess they're crawling. But if you are concerned, stick with liquids and, you know, get a sprayer and just make sure that you're following the instructions about re-entry into those areas. Yes, that's answered all the question. Jed Weddell on Facebook. Hey boys, good to see you early this morning. As we transition to the cooler months in South Australia, especially overnight, I know you've mentioned going to foliar over granular. Is it best to apply foliar applications if there is little to no growth of the plant in the shaded area, or stick with granular in the shaded area?
In the shaded area, yeah, I'm always a big fan for liquids because the way it's taken up quicker. I know we've mentioned it a million times, but yeah, foliar applications, fast acting, straight into the source, like straight into the plant.
If there's no leaf there though,
Yeah.
it's still the same.
If there's no leaf there, you probably something like roots and shoots, and I mean all of our liquids can be soil applicated. So
Yep.
yeah,
All right. Blake Magrin on Facebook. We're getting a lot of the same names. Hey fellas, tuning in from New South fucking Wales. What's the difference between Spartan and Embargo pre-emergent? I know they have different actives, but that's about it.
Yep. So different actives. One's bright yellow, so Spartan's bright yellow, Embargo's bright orange. The residual effect is 6 months in Spartan versus 4 months with Embargo.
You can't get Embargo anymore though, can you?
No,
That's also the difference.
Oxalin, or I think the active is. The quantity in which needed to be brought into Australia was far outweighed how much I suppose was going to be purchased. So,
But Spartan's a longer lasting product,
yes,
so
yeah, which separated initially between Barricade and Embargo is the residual effect and the price. Embargo was half the price of.
So it was priced around a bow and arrow size price.
Yeah, $60.
Yep.
Yeah, versus 500 mil of Spartan, which is 120. So
Yep.
it was essentially almost half. I think the application rates were very similar, that 30 to 40 mil per 100 squares. Yeah, it's just the residual effect.
Riley on TikTok. TikTok is a fucking unique place, isn't it?
Yep.
What's your opinion on grass? Personally, grass is overrated. We should just dig it up and send it to space.
That's fine.
That's
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
I'm more curious around how the fuck you're going to get it to space.
These millennials, mate, I'm sure they got wacky ideas. Look, grass for me.
We've got like 3 followers on TikTok and you just lost a third of them.
That's right. We've got heaps of followers on TikTok, don't we, Dylan? Yeah. Look, grass for me is a place in which people can come together, whether that's a sporting club, families, an area for people to enjoy and have fun. I understand that lawns, grass, not for everyone, but neither's a daisy garden that covers over 100 squares. That's not me. I'd prefer to have 90 squares of grass and then a garden bed around the outside. That's just me. Some people prefer to have blue hair and concrete lawns, and that's that's fine.
JT on Facebook, you're far too humble, Clint. How about naming some products after you and your staff? Coming into spring, you could launch Clint Stimulation and Jonesy's Load.
Well, we could. I don't want to comment too much on that, but let's just say that might not be so far off the grasp of reality.
I have nothing. Shane O'Lee on Facebook. I won my second spray pack last week. Oh, that's not fair. Someone's worked out how to hack my brain algorithm because I didn't know that. I try not to do that. I won my second spray pack last week and thought it would be fair to let someone who hasn't won yet have a go. Maybe if people win multiple times, just give them a discount code to purchase some more stuff. Cheers, Shane. You happily took your fucking second spray pack, didn't you? You didn't say, don't worry about it, man. Give it to someone else. I agree. That's very noble of you. You could also give your second spray pack to someone and highlight the advantages of Lawnhub products for them, but whatever, keep it, spray it. Yeah. And we sent it anyway?
Yeah, I think we'd had already sent it, and
so he didn't win his second one last week. He got his second one, maybe. All right, cool. Thank you, Shane. Thanks for tuning in as well. Connor on YouTube. Hey, guys, wife stepped in bindies yesterday and wants them gone. Got NSFW ready to spray and told her it will be effective at getting rid of them. Am I correct? Or as usual, am I wrong?
correct.
You are correct. Read in the voice of topless man in Billy Madison's tent.
Goodness.
Venjum on YouTube. What products should I use to repair Kikuyu patchy in shaded areas 50% of the time in Adelaide?
It's tough. And
Just get rid of it.
yeah,
Shut the house.
Extend the garden bed out maybe. Introduce a shade tolerant grass seed, but then it's not going to look the same. If you're fine with that, then yeah, do that. Otherwise, yeah, returf it and just continuously apply liquids to make sure that it's still healthy and that.
Or buy UV lights, which is getting a bit crazy.
Yeah, or just extend
I'm close.
You are very close. Although the last time we were at your place, the side of the house there was looking quite good.
Yeah. I think the key to that one is don't drive excavators on it every 6 months.
Yeah, but it came back pretty good, I thought.
The Carpo Marks on YouTube. Hi guys from New South fucking Wales. Last week I just finished adding premature from my amateur pack and noticed there was some lawn grubs in my lawn. Is it okay to add insecticide before roots and shoots?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is fine. No dramas there.
I should stop eating. Just in general. Maxi with a 3X's 74 on YouTube. Just received my amateur pack. Should I mow before applying wet and Spartan?
You can, yeah, if you want. That's fine. As long as you order it in.
Dylan Keen on YouTube. Hey guys, I laid some wintergreen cooch about 3 weeks ago. When is the right time to start fertilizing? I have Trojan and roots and shoots.
Now.
Trojan's right for a new wintergreen?
Yeah, it is. It doesn't have the phosphorus in it that something like Got Laid will, but if it's what you've got, it's better than, nothing. And
so do the Trojan now, depending, as it gets cooler, maybe roots and shoots. Anyone asking questions, if you feel like it might be relevant, let us know what city or town or country or state or universe you're in so that we know roughly what your weather is like before we can answer your questions. Joey McCanny on YouTube. Any thought on loyalty programs for merch or discounts? Yes, all the time. From a discounts standpoint, Jonesy's weekly cut email, which gets sent out every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Adelaide time, has a special offer. We are continuously growing our email and text database with the view of surprise and delight. I enjoy the brand being synonymous with giveaways and people winning stuff and random acts of kindness and, charitable, society benefiting things. I feel like there's a social responsibility for companies if they're making enough money to cover rent and board and everything else, and then there's a bit to give back, then that's something that companies should and could be doing. From a loyalty program standpoint, in my mind, and honestly, most of this shit just comes down to me not having enough time. In my mind, I have a NFT connected lawn care subscription model that hasn't been rolled out for a couple of reasons. The crypto market's not where it should be, and when I came up with the idea, we're in quite a strong market, but also there's a lot of software development that would have to happen in the background, unless there's Shopify plugins that manage it, which I don't believe there would be that would manage what I want. There's a 100 things that we're thinking of doing, and it's really just about us being commercially sensitive around the things that we choose to do and making sure that we have the time, the resources, and the money to do them well. There's been a lot of times in the past where we've rolled stuff out and we haven't done a great job, and it's kind of had a negative impact on the business and then obviously the customers' interaction with the company. So any thought on loyalty programs for merch or discounts? In addition to that, I'm thinking we might start during this podcast having a special product or a special code set up. Did you see the new photo? There was a name on there then? A special product or a code set up. So if you say buy something during this podcast, you go into the draw to win something and, that kind of thing. But like I said, it just really comes down to time. If you've got a background in that or any wicked ideas, I'm all ears. Here's the updated version. Brenton Ellis. Is that Brenton's lawn?
Mm-hmm.
Brenton's finally getting his flowers. Murray's finally getting his flowers.
DIY roller. Love it.
Getting it done. Matt Curtiskin on YouTube. Can you put premature down in winter or best to stick with 3-way liquid? Thanks.
I mean, depending on where you are, like if you're in Queensland, Western Australia, North Queensland, those areas, you can apply granular all year round. But if you're starting to get some cool temperatures or you don't see temperatures, say, over the mid-teens consistently, then liquids.
Oh, I love this one. Nat Extreme, winner of the 414. I emailed Adam last Friday and never heard back.
Huh?
Written warning. Nat, he's going to look at this now. He does have me as a boss, which can be quite challenging at times, which might impact his ability to do all of his tasks, but he's generally pretty good with that kind of thing. So he's going to have a look now, and hopefully your email was not caught by our spam filter, which would rival most governments' spam filters. Jacob Cantrick on Facebook. Have you guys ever thought about having a calendar with a lawn plan schedule integrated together? I don't mind that idea. So you can give recommendations and reminders, and then you can mark down the dates when you last sprayed and spread products, etc., mode, etc., for those of us with OCD. Have you thought about that, Jonesy?
Yes.
He has thought about that. Sorry.
Okay.
He's
All
also not a big fan of being called out on shit, especially if he has replied.
No. Okay. So I see what's happened. I sent the message to Jai.
Yep.
To say send this, send the good stuff.
Send the 414 to Nat Extreme.
Yep.
Yep.
And I remember seeing this photo down the shaded area, and I don't know what's happened.
So Nat, thank you for bringing that back up.
Yeah.
Or Nat Extreme. You might be called Extreme. Jonesy,
Nathaniel
and on this,
Castles.
if you have a situation where you've had a customer service collapse from us, don't hesitate to get in touch. It does happen from time to time. There are hundreds, if not, we'd be in the thousands, if not touching tens of thousands of messages and comments a week, which we manage without a independent social media comment manager. So it's basically Jonesy, Jai, and Josie with a sprinkling of Clint at night when I see that there's been, what would you call it? Them living their lives.
One of the biggest things as well is sometimes we, and I get a lot where someone will ask a question, I'll answer it, but then have another question.
Yep.
And then, that person might not reply straight away. And then when we plug back in, it's, oh, shit,
Yep.
Yes, Nathaniel, I remember seeing this because you said that the condom thing happened more than once. Remember that was... Yeah, remember the whippersnipper hit the condom? And yeah, that's them. Yeah. Yes. And without getting into it too personal, I had quite an intense weekend with some shit. So when I returned to this on Tuesday, I think I just downloaded, sent them all to Jai and said, let's get these out. And I'm not sure exactly what's happened, but I will spend it. I'll mark this as unread and I'll give it the time that it deserves.
Thank you, Jonesy. Dylan Kean on Facebook. Hey, guys. I'm sure I've read this. Kira, what the fuck is going on? Hey, guys, I laid some wintergreen coats. Yeah, we've definitely done that one. Tom Ford on Facebook. Isn't Tom Ford like a fashion brand?
Yes, it is.
Tom asks, do you guys have a reseller in Perth or Western Australia?
We're always on the lookout.
Why don't we just open a Lawnhub shop?
Well, we definitely could. Perth or Western Australia's taken over Adelaide now, so...
Hang on a second. What's that mean?
With the sales? Remember how we're looking at that? Western Australia's getting more sales
Oh,
than
yeah.
Adelaide now?
I thought you meant like the whole... fucking the Premier's coming over here and like we now bow down to WA and we paid $10 for a schooner and... get that mining money.
No.
Okay.
And I've reached out to, I reckon, 12 to 14 mower shops in the CBD of Perth, and not a single one got back to me. So
it's because you're from South Australia.
Yeah.
You know that they think we're like two-headed monsters and shit.
They're three-headed monsters. So.
What's the solution here? Tom, work with us here. You got contacts?
Yeah, you got contacts, Tom? Because, no one wants to give me the time.
I know some irrigation store owners over there.
But are they normal people? Or because their irrigation market over there is fucking off its head?
Well, their fertilizer market's different as well.
Mm. Well, yeah, that's also true because I was reading...
I don't have my notes thing. I was like, I didn't bring my notebook because I'm trying to be more Just make notes in your phone, bro.
Some of the soil amendment products that I was looking at yesterday said that the rates for Western Australia is different than that of the rest of the states.
Countries.
States of Australia. I've got a pen and paper down here.
No, I've got to open my notes app. It's all good. I'm just going to sort out reseller. I'll sort this out. Not everyone's as action driven as I am. In WA.
I'm also a big believer in flogging a dead horse sometimes, and I was getting nowhere, so I just reverted my energy.
We'll just make a
elsewhere.
new horse.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for the question, Tom. Brad on YouTube. Morning, chaps, ladies and gentlemen. At work, have New Buffalo, and was asking for the best cut height. Cheers.
Best cut height for buffalo is high enough that it's green, but not low enough that it goes all strawy. So, what's that? 20 to 25 mil?
There you go. Suburban Night on YouTube. Got about 100 square metres of kike. Went away on holiday. Applied soil wetter and PGR 1 day apart. Was a bit crushed when I got back down the middle. What? Was a bit crushed when I got back down the middle. I need to replenish my ferts, etc. What pack? I need to read this again. Suburban Night. Got about 100 squares of kike. Went away on holiday, in brackets. Applied soil wetter and PGR, 1 day apart, close bracket. Was a bit crusty when I got back in the middle. Sorry, I read crushed. The middle of the lawn. So I'm guessing the middle bit wasn't getting water.
Yeah,
That's an irrigation problem by the sounds of it. Which it could be that the sprinklers were incorrectly designed. It could be that the water pressure was affected and it's not working properly. Or it could be that the grass was getting in the way of the sprinkler and stopping it from getting to the middle. That's all I could think of. Crusty, not crunchy. Yeah, we'd need some more information to get a better understanding of that. Second question from Suburban Night. I need to replenish my ferts, etc. What pack would you recommend for 100 squares of kaiku? You cut it around 12 mil.
nice. It's a nicely looked after lawn. Then I would have no issues in recommending the amateur pack. If you're spending the time, and especially got PGR, obviously amateur pack comes with a pre-emergent.
I was going to say, we're not too late for pre-emergent still. We're never too late.
It's closing though.
So it's like the whole the best time to put pre-emergent down was a month ago. The second best time is now.
Yeah, we're talking.
I haven't put any down.
Yeah, well, neither have I.
And I've stolen heaps.
And I'm planning to do an application at Dad's place tomorrow. But yeah, my front yard just still hasn't filled in enough from my reno, so I'm probably just going to have to run the gauntlet and just hope to God that no winter grass comes through, because I've been winter grass free for 2 years in the front lawn. So
I've never had it.
Yeah, it's a dog.
I stole some Spartan, and then you guys sold 380 bottles in a day and a half or something.
Millions.
And I had a bottle in my car.
Yeah, it actually helped
and
out.
I'm like, hey, dude, do you want this? And he's like, yep.
Yeah.
So I've got some onset.
Yeah.
I stole both. I got some onset sitting in my driveway. Yeah.
Is it really stealing if it's yours?
Yeah. I own the company, but the company owns the stock.
Yeah.
So I'm stealing from the company, taking it into my... It's like, yes.
It's just a shift of ownership.
Yeah, without paperwork. Imagine you did that with a house. Just a shift in ownership. That's what happens in America.
Yes.
You just squat for 6 months and the house is yours. Tell the owner to fuck off. They'll sort that out, I'm sure. Hey guys, will NSFW defeat Clover?
Yes, absolutely.
This is Nathan Skaysbrook on Facebook.
Yeah.
Plus, would it be worth making the podcast fortnightly and filling in the gaps with something else like mower and tools maintenance? I think so. Look, the reality is me and Jonesy have the time to do it. Dylan pretty much has nothing else to do but this. And so we could still do this. We could probably shorten this to an hour and do an hour once a week and then do something else. I'm thinking radio-esque, where you have different segments and we just do a half an hour of questions, and then we might have a guest speaker, and then we might talk about whatever's going on in the world. I think that might be a bit more interesting. It's something we'll talk about. And
it's only episode 11, so we're still learning. I've never done podcasts before in my life, so.
Send us your feedback.
So that's what they're doing. Dylan said, send us your feedback. Don't email feedback at Dylan, because that's not a thing. Adam at lawnhub.com.au. especially if you want to say bad things about me, because I'm very sensitive. Nat Extreme on YouTube. Any experience with the corded draper scarifier? Draper? The corded draper. I'm a massive tight ass and looking at getting a scarifier. The corded draper.
Yeah.
Is that a brand that's been
I think so.
typed?
I think it might be an Amazon brand or something. There's a channel on YouTube called How To with Doc, and he's got a corded scarifier.
It's a Total Tools thing.
Yeah, he calls it a scarifier because he's from Georgia.
$249 from Total Tools.
That's pretty good. I suppose the only thing is corded, so you got to make sure you don't run over the cord. But what I was getting to, he's got the Sunjay corded. Have you got it on your screen? I want to have a look at it, see if it's the same one. Yeah, that's the same one. So this is a guy, and the reason why I say him, so Doc's got, I think, off the top of my head, maybe 250,000 subscribers, and he is from America, and
the United States of America.
He has, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 cylinder miles and a coring machine. Like, he's got everything. And what I'm trying to say is he doesn't, I suppose what I'm trying to say is he doesn't have a budget on things, but he still uses that corded scarifier.
Yeah.
Because he rates it. So I think, yeah.
So the answer to the question is that guy rates it.
Mm. And if it's good enough for him, then I think it's going to be good enough for anyone. And he actually's got some really good videos. I do like watching Doc.
Shane O'Lee replying to his question about his second spray pack. No, it didn't get sent. I emailed stating the same as my comment. Looks like Adam didn't see my email either.
Fucking hell. Maybe I sent it to Jai.
Side note, NSFW works at killing the morning glory weed.
Shane O'Lee, here we go.
Does that make sense? Morning glory? That's not a dirty term? No? More. There's obviously a product waiting to happen there, right? James Annandale on Facebook. Can three-way be used instead of premature granular fertilizer? It's a different product, but yes. You'll find in some of our marketing that we're running at the moment that three-way has kind of replaced premature in some ads. And if you're really across things, you'll see what I mean. So yes. Is that a yes?
Yes.
A yes.
Three-way is also a very good liquid fertilizer. And I've spoken about it before. It's unique because its ability to stay active in the plant for up to 8 weeks, which is very unique in liquid fertilizers. Typically, liquid fertilizer programs are a 4 to 6 week program. But in the right conditions, three-way has the ability to be in the plant for up to 8 weeks, which is pretty good. Which is actually pretty cool, if I'm being honest. Shano, yeah, I'm not sure. I can see the email there. I've opened it and I'm just checking to see what I sent to Jai. Like I said, I had a fucking shocking weekend, so apologies.
I put my phone between my legs, and every time a question comes through, it vibrates. I don't know if I want to take it away. Hey, Jed Waddell on Facebook. Thank you, gentlemen, for the answer in regards to the kikuyu growing in the shaded area of the shed till summertime again. Is there a good grass type for this area that would work well with the kikuyu? Nothing that looks like it.
Yeah.
That grows like it. The problem you're going to have is if you put a seeded grass down, it's generally going to be a more heritage green than a lime green, if that's a fair comment.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be really visibly noticeable. The leaves kind of sharper, thinner. Yeah, they'll start to grow at different. Like if you don't mow it, you'll find that you get different heights, and it's a real look. It's one of the lawn world's one of those worlds where you can kind of get 80% of what you want a lot of the time. And some lawns obviously are, they have unlimited water, unlimited budgets, unlimited sun. But most people, lawn's part of a bigger thing with, humans and fences and sheds and kids and dogs. And you might find that you just have to work out what the compromise is that you have to make in that area and make that compromise. If you've got extreme personality like I do, that might be going onto eBay and buying some UV lights and growing your lawn that way. And
I sort of touched on this briefly on the weekly cut last week, where Hoffy talked about a case study of one of the ovals in the hills, and very much the same. They had to pretty much go, okay, well, we can do this, but what's the compromise? It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be 30 to 40% better than what it was. Yeah. And I said in there that lawn for us is a hobby. It's something we enjoy. It's not something we're going to be able to perfect it all the time because life happens. So if your lawn says 80%, fine, it's just at 20%, and you can compromise and go, you know what? It's not growing so well. I know why it's not growing so well in that area, and you can live with it. Yeah.
I feel like lawn care for me is like a smoking addict giving up smoking. Every day I'm like, I'm fucking done. And then I'm like, the next day I'm like, I think I might just put some roots and shoots down. And maybe just like up the watering.
Oh, my front yard at the moment's riddled with cooch mite again at the moment. It's so ugly. I hate it. It's the second time this year.
It's interesting that the more you care about your lawn, the more negative things tend to happen.
Yes, and I was talking to someone in the shop on what day is it? Friday, on Wednesday, about typically how disease pressure's higher in well looked after turf, pest activities more higher in well looked after turf.
Even like the galahs eating kikuyu, they don't eat shitty kikuyu.
No, they don't. They really don't. So. So I got a treatment of miticide this weekend. Maybe I might do a second one. I might, because I had a damage, and I know my lawn's only 30 squares, and we're only talking like this much, but the area died off at the start of spring, and it has not grown back because of the damage from the cooch mite.
I thought my back lawn must have had some kind of insects, because it just doesn't do anything. Like,
I reckon we should do a soil test.
I do too, but I can't be fucked. It's easier for me just to go, what's all the other soil tests say?
Yeah. A lot of them are saying they're very low in potassium.
So I'll just put that out.
Sulfate of potash.
Sorted.
Yeah. 3 kilos per 100 squares. See Clint with the bag.
Is the same chemicals in dog shit? Because the parts where he's going to the toilet, how I've got that top area, it's generally pretty healthy, and then the corner down the bottom's healthy, and then the other bit near the pool's healthy, and then in the middle it's not. It's like, where is this coming from?
Well, that could have come from that organic soil that you had when Ovo was trying to top it up the edges to get the irrigation in.
Yeah.
Could just be that's
just better soil.
That's just where the better soil.
Who would have thought, hey? I wish you would tell people that was important.
Yeah. Only literally every day.
Bailey Dalby on Facebook. Hey, could I use only NSFW to... Hey, fucking hell, Clint. We shouldn't do these in the morning, man. Hey, could I use only NSFW to get rid of bindies from Wagga, New South Wales?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a second product. David Williams on Facebook. Hi, fellas, from Northwest Tassie.
Oh, Tassie.
I've just recently gotten myself a Rover 45 to mow my kike. However, it seems to struggle a lot in winter here in the shady areas. Wondering if it would be worth changing turf to 4 turf double tetraploid ryegrass. Does that mean anything to you?
It does.
And
It's just a cultivar of ryegrass.
or possibly a ryegrass blend.
Okay.
Why is everyone so right? Look at the fescues, man.
Yeah. Okay. Now.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
This comment gets me
Hang on.
excited.
Would it be better turf variety for cold weather? Happy to water and mow frequently. Cheers for your help, fellas.
All right. What I would do is you have an awesome base of kikuyu already.
Oxymoron.
If I'm being
An awesome kikuyu.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I'd keep that platform. I would scarify in multiple directions, and I'd oversow with a premium ryegrass or a fescue. Our ryegrass, as I said previously, is 3 very high quality cultivars, which I've said before has been used to oversow Adelaide Oval. So I would use something like the Lawnhub seed to oversow that area. The beautiful thing about ryegrass, especially during the cooler months and being in Tasmania, is every time you mow, it's going to tiller, it's going to get thicker, it's going to get... Oh, that gets me excited. Because I want to do a rye overseed at Dad's place, but I don't know if I have the time to be able to go and look after it.
Why can't he look after it? He's got nothing else to do.
True. He can't get he doesn't know how to use the Scotty. I've showed him, but he doesn't want to break it.
Okay.
Might
Will he
get-
happily break a bushranger? I've got fucking moles everywhere, dude.
Yeah, like we said the other week. Oh yeah, your unicorns at Dry Creek. That's ready.
Yeah, I know. I haven't got a lot more room at home. I should take it home.
Oh, there should be enough room when the sauna's gone. Get a new one.
Yeah, I got to build that thing first. And
Has it come yet? The new
What?
one? Didn't you
I
say
haven't
you-
ordered one.
Oh, you haven't ordered.
No, I need to
Yeah.
build a gym first, and then put the this is fucking sound like a real douchebag, and then put the sauna on the deck outside the gym. Fuck off! I work hard. I'm fucking buy a sauna. For
I'm all about it. I'm
you
a
be able to
big
come around and
believer.
have an ice bath. And
Yeah, I'm a
talk
big
about,
believer. If you work hard, you spend hard, you do whatever you want with
You
your
want to be
money.
a man. You need to sit in ice water. Andrew Tate would disagree.
I was going to say what he actually said then, but
All right.
we would get banned if I said that.
Daniel Pittman on YouTube. If you guys need a new delivery driver, let me know. Okay, we will. Daniel, the Lawnhub business doesn't really use a delivery driver because we use external couriers because most of the packages are done like ad hoc to homes all around the country. But I expect Lawnhub will be hiring between 10 and 30 people in the next 12 to 18 months. So we'll always advertise that on our socials. And if you're genuinely interested in coming and working here and maybe helping Jonesy not miss emails or doing delivery driver work or manufacturing or packaging, then by all means apply when those jobs come up. It's unlikely there's going to be anything until August or September, obviously, because we are now in the season of stability and calm before we go into the season of crazy.
I'm actually very disappointed with my email effort. That's one thing that I pride myself on getting back to people.
It's the only thing. Not his general appearance or his hygiene
I don't
or
give
his
a
smell.
shit about what
None of
I
that
look
shit.
like. I shaved my head last night.
I noticed that. Is that because you've got an event today?
No, it was getting long,
Yeah.
and I was waking up with devil ears.
You got to comb it over.
Nah, just get the blade out.
That's where it's at. It's not. It's never that serious.
Sometimes.
JT on Facebook, another great listen, guys. See, positive feedback.
Yes.
I'm an independent lawn contractor. Don't have a great deal of knowledge on irrigation systems. Can you recommend one or more I can listen to on this topic while I work? I do understand it's more of a visual thing, but people like myself have a lot of time for listening. I completely understand what you are saying. All I could suggest is going over to WaterPro's YouTube channel. All the socials for WaterPro are WaterPro AU, so at WaterPro AU. We've got a bunch of trainings over there. Depending on what state you're in, you could come to, if you're in South Australia, you could come to our in-person trainings when we have them. If you're in another state, I would be able to point you in the direction of the least cockhead irrigation shops. I know most of the good ones. So, yeah, the good ones do trainings. So it might be, I know you said you're busy, but it might be worth you taking an hour or two out of your day, especially in winter and especially maybe at night, and going to one of those training sessions. But all of our trainings that we do on irrigation for basics and advanced are all filmed and they are put on our YouTube channel. So yeah, hopefully that helps. There's not really an irrigation podcast, and I don't know that there would be too many people that would listen to it if I talked about irrigation for an hour.
Probably
a week.
not, but I suppose, and I can only just speak about the quality of the ovals when I was playing cricket, but the quality of the ovals around the CBD now versus 12 years ago, irrigation is just the use of irrigation, the time spent putting a quality system together rather than, she'll be right, we'll just put 360s everywhere. I think it excites me.
There's a plan. Again, we talked earlier about the amount of things that are in my head. I'm also looking to build out an irrigation training course here that I'll film with this background. This studio was built with stand-up workstations, so I could actually do training, internal training. If you saw the list of shit that I have to do, you'd feel sick. And if you saw the stuff that I'm getting done whilst trying to do that, you'd feel even sicker.
It's pretty neat.
But I want to do a management training course that we can use internally that we might publish externally to help move my team from practitioners to managers. It's a gap that I'm seeing a lot in the world, that a lot of times there are people that are really good at a certain job that lack the training to move into a management role, and that will help us determine whether or not we keep the practitioner as a practitioner or we move them into a manager, and make sure that they've got the ability to do so, but also the basic training stuff. So hopefully that'll become a thing. It's just time. We've got 2 full-time media staff, and they're both working on things full-time, unlike the rest of the guys who are sitting around drinking coffees and eating cake. Hopefully that will be something. But, YouTube for now is probably the best source of that kind of information. Probably hard to digest without looking at it visually, but you might be able to listen to it and then, quickly look when you need to.
One of the things that you've always said, and you said this when I had my interview with you, was that Hectagon as a group's always thinking way beyond where the company's currently at. So, we could easily say that across the business we probably have maybe 5 or 6 too many people, but we have the vision.
Look, and the thing is, if the business had 180 or 400 staff, this would all be happening.
Yeah.
There's a commercial reality that there's only so much money that comes into the business, and then that can get deployed against more people. I was talking to someone last night at dinner about buying stadium, what was it? The entertainment centre put together a proposal for me to have a 18-person corporate box for a year, which is about $96,000 plus GST plus food and beverage, which probably could push it to $200,000. I'm like, do you know what kind of quality humans that you could add to your business for $200,000 a year? And that's the main priority, right?
Yeah.
So every time we can, we will. And if I had 2 full-time EAs plus a 7-person media team and all that shit, there would be a bunch more. It's just, unfortunately, I feel like I'm like a fighter jet at Parafield Airport doing fucking flying lessons for, entrepreneur douchebags that are trying to, I'm going to be a pilot.
But,
so that's
there's people that would spend that.
douchebag.
Yeah, there is people that would spend that $200,000 and not reinvest in their staff. And to be honest, other than your customers, your staff are your most important asset.
More important to me than the customers, to be honest.
So
I think without good quality staff, the customers kind of will see that. So, and we've done that by firing customers plenty of times. We've shown that
absolutely, yeah.
What did someone asked me a question that I want to ask? I just saw here about something which I think you probably will have a good answer for. Jack Chapo on YouTube. Jonesy, if I should be changing to liquids as it gets colder, why did I buy 2 buckets of Premature last week after you've been plugging it so hard?
We've still got time. What I meant was when it starts to, when the temperatures really start to drop off.
We've been really careful around our marketing on this as well, because it's really not, it's getting closer. And obviously a lot of people are buying packs that have, the amateur pack we just talked about. It's got Premature in it, but it also has roots and shoots. And so, sorry, you keep going. And I've been speaking about it, what feels like for probably the last 6 weeks is that curve of colour that we're going to experience. It, like today, for example, what's the temperature today? 19, 20, 21 here in Adelaide. We still have decent temps enough to still apply Premature. When people start using the W word, winter, the use of granular fertilisers are decreased and the use of liquid fertilisers are then increased. So I might not have delivered that in the way in which, the last few questions have come about. But yeah, once we start to really see the cold weather kick in, that's when you make the transition into liquids. But right now we've still got probably an SA, probably at least another 2 or 3 weeks. And then you'd start, really start considering, moving into liquids. The Victorian climate, probably a week or two. Tasmania is probably done.
Tasmania, if you've got a cool season grass, your season's essentially just starting. So you could flip it on the other end.
I haven't watered my front lawn for 4 or 5 days and it still looks fine. How funny is that?
Because of the cool weather and we're having dew come in overnight. The temperatures.
And I was watering it every day.
Up the east coast, you've still got probably a month. Queensland into North Queensland. Just whatever, you literally got a line across the country there that you can just do whatever.
I think
you want.
as the, this is really, I don't even want to say it because someone will copy it, but fuck it, everyone copies our shit anyway. So here you go. Here's an idea. Get to it before us. You'll look like a fucking genius. With your lawn plans, it would be cool to be able to almost have a seasonality that's temperature driven connected to the side of it, and
Yes.
they have like a Melbourne or a New South Wales or Victoria or even just belts across Australia and go, this is the lawn plan for that state with this type of turf. And rather than worrying about the times and the dates, use the weather and
Yes.
make the decision on this. I don't know if
So-
anyone's doing that.
So basically, and this my brain works in very different ways, but my thing is to build a base plan and then manipulate the numbers and sort of drag it in to match each state.
Yeah, so it's almost like a K factor. So this is premium lawn health equals 100, and then in brackets Melbourne 100 plus 0.25 take 2 weeks, and then
Yeah.
you just kind of adjust that. I can see what you're saying.
It's all up here.
Yeah, it's figuring it out.
Something that I really have tried, and since working at Lawnhub, Hectagon in general, my use of Excel has come leaps and bounds, and that's probably something that I'll start to formulate those numbers and then express it over to a PDF, and then you'll be able to then go, okay, there'll be a live PDF that you can click what state you're in, and then essentially all that information will change, and that's the vision. I've had chats with Kira, and she believes that she'll be able to
Communicate your
something
digital information.
something
visually.
Duffy was really good at. I'd say something and he'd be able
Translate
to
it.
replicate. Dylan's pretty good at it, to be honest. And
Only
Kira's
because he's in the room.
no, Dylan. I think in early doors,
Early doors.
our language barrier in which how I was explaining things, Dylan, you would agree. You would be like, "What the fuck is this guy saying?" But it's got a lot better. I think I've learnt maybe to try and explain it a bit better. Remember, I did drawings for a little bit because I couldn't explain. Yeah, I couldn't explain it. I just drew it. But
We found a way to communicate.
yeah.
We figured it out.
But I know that the finished product is something that's going to be able to be usable.
Do you have a
And
violin on your fucking soundboard? Or like maybe some like sexy sax? All I can think of is what's his name? Fucking Michael fucking not the boob. The saxophone dude, with the long hair.
Bleeding Gums Murphy off The Simpsons. He plays the saxophone. Crickets.
Yeah, Dylan's a little bit busy doing whatever the fuck he's doing. There's no sound. I need the soundboard over here. Adam Mudge on Facebook. I'll work for Lawnhub. You do work for Lawnhub
Yeah, you do.
when you're here. Mudge is having like the first annual leave day he's had for fucking hell.
Yeah, ages.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Adam on YouTube. Question: what is the deal with this keychain in Clint's office? All right. I guess it's time to tell the story.
Yeah, well, I suppose.
So,
That's interesting. That I've only mentioned that a few times. That's really good.
yeah,
This-
and it's
this
not in the
customer.
office anymore. It's been handed to my son in preparation for him to
Yes,
move
it
into
did.
manhood. But the early days of building WaterPro, most of my time, a lot of my time was spent entertaining clients and, you know, taking people out. We had tickets to Adelaide Oval, and there was a period of, I don't know, a time period. Time's just some kind of construct, right?
It
Like, we
really
don't
is.
really know. Where we would go across the road from the Adelaide Casino to a bar
Establishment.
where the stage was bigger than the bar, and most of the staff were not working behind the bar; they were working on the stage. And so, because I went there so regularly for the period and spent so much money for a period, I was given lifetime free entry, which is they gave me a keyring, so I'm a member, I guess. And so yeah, they were kind enough to give me that keyring, and it still works. So I've been told by my 11-year-old son. No,
Yeah, he's a smart lad. I wouldn't.
no, the
put it-
keyring still gives free entry to this establishment. I don't go there, but I know people that do. The establishment is called The Firm. All right, so that's where the keyring came from. Jonesy sometimes asks if he can borrow it.
Oh, I'm sleeping out in the lounge tonight.
Fuck that. Be a man. Make her sleep on the lounge.
Yeah.
All right.
You're on the lounge.
Clayton Ashby on YouTube. Best advice to repair partially ruined lawn from a dog in Victoria. Hang on a sec. I got another question down here from... They're answering their own questions. Where is it? Bearded Sith.
Hey, Bearded Sith. He sent me an email. Hopefully I replied to it.
First time using Roots and Shoots 2 weeks ago, and it's a fucking horn. Great product. Helped fill in my dog urine burn areas. That's an answer, kind of. But the question that was asked was best advice. This is from Clayton Ashby on YouTube. Best advice to repair ruined lawn from a dog. So I'm guessing digging, not pissing. Maybe. Yeah. When is best time to topsoil or scarify? All right, so that question's start of spring. I wouldn't be, especially in Victoria, I wouldn't be throwing any soil down onto a already damaged lawn. Best advice to repair partially ruined lawn from the dog. So if the dog's pissed on it and it's killed it, then we recommend Roots and Shoots and water. If the dog's dug holes, then obviously refill those holes. Again, Roots and Shoots and water. If the dog's damaged the lawn by using it like a sheep and taking the same path continuously, then there's probably a compaction issue. So aeration, Roots and Shoots and water. Yeah?
Yep, that's spot on.
All right.
Well done, Clint. Gold star.
Jacob Cantrick on Facebook. For soil tests, say your pH is out and is acidic. Can you presume the whole lawn is acidic? Or may there be a chance that there's a certain spot that may be more alkaline that could mess with the total of the test results? I like this question, Jacob. I think rain sensors on irrigation systems are kind of as much of a concern as a single soil test. But obviously, it's a snapshot of the total area.
So it's the average. So I get what you're saying, but essentially...
The average would be actually taking 40 different samples and mixing them together and sending a portion of that. But we'll just continue with this.
So hence the 2 cups worth. Yeah, and like Clint said, it's only a snapshot, but it gives a really good insight. But to answer your question, the first part, if your pH is low, and is it safe to assume that the rest of the lawn is acidic? Not necessarily. I had a soil test come through yesterday. Had a look at it. Some of his elements were out, which by actually introducing some of those elements would then essentially bring the pH down, but then you combat it with another element that he was low with, so it'd raise the pH. So not always is what I'm trying to say. I understand what you're saying, but it all just depends on the elements in which that your lawn is lacking in or high in. Typically more, and don't shoot me down in the comments because I know not all of them are, but traditionally a lot of organic soils are acidic just by the way that they are blended, mixed, they work together, whereas a more alkaline soil typically can come from, a sandy soil. Not always, I understand, not always, but in these results that I'm just seeing, I think I've had about 15 or 16 come through so far, and yeah, there is a constant trend. There are some anomalies, but that's the beauty of a soil test. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Oh, these are good. So we're starting to step out of lawn-based questions.
That's all right.
This is good. So Brendan Dove on Facebook, pile on Adam. He did not reply to mine either.
Fuck.
Nathan Skatesbrook on Facebook. I'll move to Adelaide for a job and a hat. Daniel Pittman on YouTube. Hey Adam, how long do you think the Gawler Glider Club runway is? Maybe we could use that for the long drive.
Hey, that's a good idea. That's literally across the road from where Mum and Dad live. That's actually a good idea. I didn't think of that.
It's not grass runway.
It's not grass, no, but there's there's big open space there. I would suggest it'd be well over 500 meters. I would have thought.
Makes sense. You need to take a plane off and shit.
Yeah.
So based on that logic, wouldn't it be more central to just use Adelaide Airport?
Oh, as if we're going to get on Adelaide Airport. Could you imagine rocking up to the Adelaide Airport and going,
just like, I'd like to speak to the manager.
Yeah, I want to speak to the manager about putting a driving range in the middle of the runway, please. We just
what ballpark figure would it cost for you to close for 6 or 8 hours on a Saturday?
just because obviously working in that sense, if a properly trained person would be able to pick up like, yeah, cool, like whatever, but there'd be someone that would be stressing hard like, oh, I've never had that question
I'm
before.
going to need to get back to you.
Yeah.
Jack Chapo gives us a very, very intelligent valuation of the Perth market on YouTube. Due to the distance, isolation, and long-term self-reliance, Perth has a different market, mildly pretentious and aloof perhaps. Got to get on the ground and individually target an established market. I agree with that. I think that's a really smart observation around the Perth market, and it really fits the irrigation and the fertilizer markets, which are the only two that I'm really across. So yeah, thank you for that. Now I'm going to fucking fly to Perth. Okay. Brad on YouTube. Hi, chaps. Made a full cock of my question earlier with typos, so here goes again. Northern suburbs of Adelaide, few-month-old buffalo. Oh, God, Brad. Few-month-old buffalo. Best height of cut, please. Cheers.
Yeah, 20 to 25 mil.
All right. You didn't need to retype that, Brad. No, Jonesy speaks full cock, so it's all good.
Northern suburbs of Adelaide. I even talk even more of northern suburbs.
Because of all the words the dictionary has, half have been stolen by the people of the local area. After my Nathan Bryce Tasker on Facebook, after my renovation in mid-March to fix my severely compacted soil, my lawn has recovered spectacularly. Congratulations. I've noticed that the roots are having trouble penetrating and have a shallow root system. What's the best way to get nice and deep when I root?
At this time of year, solid tining rather than hollow tining, which brings the core out. Just punch holes, solid holes into the ground.
Which what gives them a space for the root to grow into.
And oxygen, yeah. It allows oxygen, nutrients, water, all the same stuff that coring does. Doesn't relieve compaction as well as a solid hollow core. But the beauty of solid tining is it's very, like, the damage is very little compared to a hollow tining. Typically after a few days, you'll see results, and like I said, it just falls back down to the damage. The damage versus the benefit of, say, hollow coring, like the damage is severe, but the benefits are also very, very, very good. Solid tining, whilst it doesn't help relieve compaction, but because it will help in a sense, but it's not going to do as good a job as hollow tining. You're still going to get what you need, and that's oxygen into the roots and able for the roots to then start getting thicker, lusher, and all the good stuff.
Sebastian Donegan on Facebook, wondering what sets your products aside from the Bunnings stuff. So,
service.
Look, I guess there's the non-product related answers. Like Lawnhub is a South Australian family-owned business that, you know, I guess is ran differently. But from a product standpoint, a lot of the marketing that we do around, I'm going to be really careful how I answer this, or else I'll get another fucking letter.
He's not joking either. You touched on it a few weeks ago. There's no magic product out there.
No.
And the difference between
I was going to say, why don't you ask the people that are doing the Bunnings Lawn podcast at the moment? That's me being a dick.
But I think like service obviously comes down to it. There are, there's people in the world that don't want to talk to people and just want to do their things on their phone, and you know, and vice versa. There's people that want to come into a shop, have a chat to people, and that's what's so good about Dry Creek is the amount of people that come through there and I have a chat to, and you know, I've been in the retail sector my whole working life, and I know what it's like going into a business that's
daunting sometimes.
Daunting, but it's also 7-day brain fade. Commission based. We're not commission based, so I don't care if you come in and don't buy anything. But if the information I give you helps you make a better decision, that to me is awesome. Like I'd rather someone come in thinking that they need a full load pack when really they need a lawn builder pack. Yeah, okay, I've just missed out on $600 worth of sales, but it's not the right thing to do by the customer.
Well, I'll answer the question from a product standpoint in a second, but to further add to what Jonesy's talking about, the Hectagon group of companies, which is purely and wholly solely owned by me and no one else, runs under the values of a thing called the 12 immutable laws. And this is not suggesting that other companies don't have values that are similar to this, but just to add to what Jonesy's saying, that one of the 12 immutable laws is play the long game. You know, we see the value in customers for life and relationships for life. And, you know, I expect that if we give opportunities to all our staff, that they'll be partnered with the business for life. The world's increasingly getting short-sighted, and we're starting to see this with some of our customers where they make stupid decisions that are in line with a short-term gain, and they're not thinking about the long-term benefits. And so we like to service our clients as if they will be partnered with us until beyond my life and then into the next generations. To answer from a product standpoint, a lot of our products are quite concentrated and haven't been watered down to meet a price point. I'm not saying anyone else's do, because that could be suggested as slander or libel or whatever fucking words they want to put in their letters. But I think we've carved out a unique niche for high quality professional grade products packaged in home friendly sizes at concentrated levels. So you're getting 1,000 square meters in some cases in one bottle, delivered very well as possible using the couriers that are available in our country, with strong support both post and pre around application, how to use. My delivery didn't get here, we'll send it to you again for free. I've got a problem with this, we'll fix it. There's a very strong focus on customers for life and customer service, and I think you'll find that at other places. I think what we do is quite unique, and I hope that answers the question. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, I think service, and that was one thing when I came on board, was I came from an independent supermarket which was all about service, so it was good to then go to another employer that had the same.
You worked for a business where you could talk to the director.
Yeah,
you still do, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You have direct line of sight to the most senior person in the business. We're starting to see in these other businesses that are and we see it in irrigation as well. You've kind of got this corporate faceless beast that makes decisions, and then you go in and ask a question and they're like, I didn't make that decision. You're like, well, who the fuck did? And they're like, well, we can't tell you that. It's like when you get declined for a loan, and I have been, and the bank goes, oh, no, you didn't get it. And like, well, I want to talk to the fucking loan officer. And they're like, you can't. Sorry, it's a fucking magic man in the sky.
Is that example what happened yesterday with...
We lose a job, and there's this fucking soft cock, fucking faceless human being that goes, oh, well, it wasn't my decision. Well, it was. And so we don't have that. So I guess at the highest possible level, if you have a real big problem with Lawnhub, you can fucking talk to me right now. Like, I'm here. You can ask questions. We do not, everything that's here is getting asked. And that's why I asked this question, because it's important that we address all things. Good luck doing that with some of the other companies that you deal with who hide behind... who don't play a straight bat and therefore can't be as public as us, because we fucking play a straight bat. Anyway, let's move on to some more questions. Something in here about you getting a pay rise. Where was that one?
Me?
I don't know who it was. One of your fucking plants. Where is it? 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 Here we go. Taylor Evans on Facebook. Clint, Jonesy deserves a pay rise. His customer service yesterday was 10 out of 10. Well, Taylor, I've got fucking 3 other people that are telling me that he didn't respond to their emails. So, I don't know. I do like the idea of crowdsourcing Jonesy's remuneration negotiations.
Look,
and we'll basically run a poll on Instagram, and whatever the answer is his pay. It could go down.
And to be honest, and I was very open with Clint when I had my interview. The workplace in which I worked in, I'm just happy that I can just come to work and have fun.
And not get stabbed or spat.
And not get stabbed or I think sometimes, and I'm very fortunate that my life is very different to a lot of other people that I'm friends with and know, but, I'm very fortunate of where I am. So the fact that I can just come to work and have fun, and not...
Get it done having fun. That sounds like one of the 12 immutable laws.
Absolutely. We should have hung up here somewhere.
I'd like to have a product called Hung. What would that be? Just a shelf hook or something?
A root stimulator. Because if you hung it...
I understand.
Just for those,
Didn't need the GIF.
Yeah, we need those GIFs back.
Nat Extreme on YouTube. Why is it that disease pressure is higher in a well looked after turf? Logic would say otherwise.
Logic would say otherwise, but unfortunately, logic doesn't always overpower the way. It's just unfortunately the amount of traffic pressure that they're put under,
Inputs?
Yeah. It just like roads, for example. You can build a good road, but the more traffic, the more trucks, the more use it gets.
The better the road, the more people will choose to use. I'm just thinking, like, is it, like, I guess if you've got gut health issues and there's certain things that feed that, right? Like, if there's disease, you're actually giving it the best environment to feed it. And I don't know the answer. And look, to be honest, I don't know if you actually know the answer.
I can't answer it in a way in which that a professor could go tick.
Yeah.
But I can answer it in a way that my brain understands. Yep. And
I think it's important that we're clear on that because I think sometimes it's okay for us to not know.
Yeah. Like golf greens, for example. They're cut at sub 3 mil. That is a ridiculous amount of stress on turf.
You know what's funny? I think there's a difference. So there's two sides to this. So we're talking about disease pressure being higher in well looked after turf. You're now describing highly used turf. Now, in some cases, both can be true at once, right? So there'd be good turf, highly used turf, Venn diagram.
Yeah.
That middle bit, is that where we're getting disease, or is it's do you know what I mean? Like, is it because of the frequency of use or the fact that it's being well looked after? And obviously it could be both. Both,
but like if in a perfect world, right? And the world's not perfect, right? So you would do your 2 applications of your disease prevention. All right, so in a perfect world, in golf green, or a fairway, for example, or a
T block,
or a cricket wicket, Adelaide Oval, whatever, blah blah blah. There's what I consider highly trafficked, well looked after turf. There's also considering factors like when, say, a stadium can water. So, for example, Adelaide Oval can only water at night. Watering at night on a rye surface, which can be influenced by the stadium, that is perfect conditions for disease.
Yeah, that's fair. Golf courses are no different. Their watering window is challenging, and they're even in a more challenging. And sorry, Alfie, I know that it's challenging. Golf courses have more challenges because there is more people on them all the time. Adelaide Oval has a lot. I mean, that's unfair as well because they've got concerts and shit that I'm not taking into account. But their watering window is different because there's no respite. It's fucking the sun's up. There's golfers. It's just nonstop. Yeah. You all have problems. I acknowledge that, and I'm sorry for comparing you with each other. I'm gonna get fucking texts now.
But MCG's the same.
Well, you think about like the concerts, man. Like traffic, but it's a different answer because that's not just because they're a well-maintained turf because they're busy. Golf courses don't have all that maintenance if they don't have customers, right?
No, that's right. And like, say for example, without sounding like a cock, but my front yard, for example, if I treat it incorrectly but it looks good, like that's still maintained turf. But if I mistreat it by applying too much fertilizer, then I get disease. Yeah. If I don't keep up with my miticide application, cooch mite comes back. Like, I suppose what I'm trying to say is that we can work really hard on our turf, and there's still going to be troubles regardless of who you are.
Yeah, but there's probably not completely answering what he's suggesting. So if anyone here can explain that better than either of us, I'm sure we've got some fucking people watching that are like hoping for us to trip over. Now's your chance.
Yeah, now's your chance.
Jump in. Yeah, prove how smart you are.
But I've always been honest and say I'm not turf management qualified.
You never will be.
Nah, don't need to be.
Too busy.
All
man. Nathan Scasebrook on Facebook. Can I say I would love to see some lawn journeys and your comments on them as a segment. I think that's good. I think it would be challenging to capture them, but I think I'd love to do that. John Paul on Facebook. Can you apply premature and onset GR at the same time?
Yes.
Back to back, water in, not at the same time.
Yes, that's fine.
What do we got? Luke Flash on Facebook. Common problem with acidic soil is too much fertilizer and not enough water passing through your soil.
Potentially, that could be one. It also depends on the fertilizer that you're using. If it's not meeting the requirements on the elements that are lacking in your soil. So, for example, if you're using a high potassium fertilizer, but your potassium is already off the chart, then that's not going to work. So you need and your phosphorus is low, then you're better off looking at a phosphorus high fertilizer or a soil amendment phosphorus like sulfate, potash, something like that. So there's a lot, and there's, again, I don't know the answers to everything, but these soil tests that I'm looking at, there's a common trend, and there's something's obviously, there's something missing in the lawn care for the homeowners, that could be untapped. And I've seen that in 16 soil tests or so far that have come back.
Sebastian just followed up on his hardware shop question. He said, just got into the landscape industry and was fishing for a supplier. You guys got good reviews, so I'm having a sus. Sebastian, obviously our product range is quite residential from a packaging size standpoint at the moment. If you are going to be doing your own work and you're looking for bulk stuff, I would suggest that by September, and I keep saying that and I hope we can meet it, because otherwise I'm going to have some angry pitchfork carrying Simpsons scenes, that we should have some larger stuff available, and hopefully we can help with supporting you in your landscape industry work. If you're in South Australia and you want help with irrigation, hit us up at WaterPro. We are more than happy to help. Matt Worth on Facebook. Happy Friday, fellas. You guys should make a Lawnhub calendar so I can record the dates I've fertilised and sprayed. This is the second comment. So I don't have to write it on the fridge. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Nat Extreme on YouTube can confirm the product is packaged very well. It's just the rando delivery drivers employed by shipping companies is not so great.
Yeah, and that's one of those things in our business that's well out of our control, and 99% of people get that. It's unfortunately that 1%. And
well, you can't pay. We can't like the shitty thing is, no one's going to pay $49.95 for premium shipping.
No.
Right, where we guarantee you that it will be put in the right spot and the guy will be smiling and not stealing shit and whatever else, or girl.
But Clint talks about it all the time. Like that 1% person's just scared they're not going to get what they paid for. And
it's just fear.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. Yeah. And we've had very, very long emails from customers saying that they're very unhappy with our service because of delivery drivers, and that's just one of the things that we just can't control physically. But then if they're missing a product or something got smashed, we send it out.
Yep.
Like it's
I reckon there was a period during the recent floods where we were resending orders, and I'm talking thousands of dollars worth of orders, because they were taking. It was stupid that we couldn't get an understand. Did we fix all of them? Was it Adam, that last one?
His was fixed as far as I'm aware. Everything else out of that, I believe, has all been sorted. But what might happen is those orders will then be.
He'll get both.
Yeah, we'll be spoon fed, and you can keep it.
And it's. I don't see that happening in many other businesses.
No,
and that's a direct bottom line impact on the business, and we lose the money, and it's just part of.
And it's all recorded now, so it's a true representation on exactly.
Because we're running the business properly.
Yeah.
Adam on YouTube, the feedback, service, and education on product wouldn't be as on point as you would get from hardware shops. Bearded Sith, I fully agree with Adam's point above. Kira was saying last week that YouTube gets a little bit out of control. There's a fair bit of banter going on in there. I think it's pretty much the same 5 or 8 guys now and girls. Sorry, 94% male. So I'm just making those assumptions. Luke Flash on Facebook. Any ideas how to keep plubbers, birds, off my front and back lawns? I'm sick of their eggs. Well, we definitely step on the eggs. And sick of them pecking my front lawn to shreds.
Touched on it before. Automatic sprinkler.
You could kill them. We don't recommend that, and I'm sure that either would Peter and probably maybe the police. There's probably some laws around it. Irvo, who you might remember from the only episode that he ever participated in as Ask Irvo, he's got to be a guest on this podcast, doesn't he? He doesn't want. What did he say?
He was like, "Fuck no." He's just busy man. He's very busy man. He.
Not all of us get to be the children. We need some adults.
I think I honestly do think though his knowledge around his experiences and the places that he's been to, the things that he's seen, will be very valuable. And I think it'd be a well.
You're not referring to when he used to have to wear a mop when he was in the Navy. Okay.
He'd be a well. No, I'm talking about the stuff that the public don't see about irrigation. That because he was an installer and all that sort of stuff. And the things that he sees. That even when he helps people in the shop, like Kyle had just had trouble with something, and you just stand there and listen to him, and you go, "Fuck," this guy knows what he's talking.
Which
about.
is one of the biggest challenges of his role, is that his practical knowledge around irrigation's too good for him to kind of escape that that dragging of him being dragged back down. All right, back up. Don't forget, Jonesy's got to go lose a golf day, so we need to keep moving.
Oh, that's all right.
Luke Gacy on YouTube. I say that wrong every time. Sorry, Luke. Put onset down about 4 weeks ago, but last week we had 100 mil of rain in a couple of days. Should I reapply or should we be sweet?
I've had this question a lot in my emails recently. From what I can understand and what I've read, the product will still be in the soil. It's just that you won't get the full residual effect of 6 months. It may be reduced by maybe 4 or 6 weeks, depending on how much water you get. So based off what I've read, I haven't tested it myself because we don't typically get that amount of water wash through here in South Australia. We do, but can't almost like do a test, if you know what I mean. Like in some parts of the country, you can really test that theory because the amount of rainfall that you get. But the studies and that I've read, just suggest that residual effect will be shorter, if that makes sense. So I think you'll be fine. But just keep in mind, if you've got something set for 6 months' time, maybe just bring it forward a month or month and a half to get the next application down.
Granular fertilizers that have got controlled release properties are affected by weather as much as that, so that makes sense.
Soil conditions, yeah.
Taylor Evans, we've had this question? No, similar question. Buffalo is struggling in shade. Any solutions? Tried core aerate using wash sand on top dress, roots and shoots. Anything I'm missing?
That's everything. You've ticked off everything in the box that I'd suggest. Maybe
shade.
Yeah, the shade. Sometimes too much water in shaded areas, it goes the opposite way. Maybe sometimes just that right amount of water, and it's really difficult to judge that.
Well, my side, I don't water. My side, which is all the same turf variety, Tiftoff, that's half the amount of water.
Yeah, because the
sun,
soil
it's not
profile,
evaporating.
the sun, the soil there's so much going on, and and I really dislike some of the marketing based around
like
Buffalo.
Shade tolerant.
Yeah, like I had this comment, like this guy came in the other day to the shop about his Tiftoff. He was very upset that he paid, top dollar for Tiftoff. What is that at the moment? $18 a square.
I think 18's in a very large exaggeration, but I haven't sold it for a while. I was thinking 13 or 14.
Nah,
$18.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think we even get it at cost.
I'll have a look
that
because
much.
we sell it. So
Yeah. Yeah, you paid
$18.
Yeah, I
want a
reckon
fucking hand job.
$18 a square.
It's fucking grass.
We know that, but anyway, he was very upset about his Tiftoff. He's like, it just goes thatchy all the time. I mow it low. It's good for about a month.
Scarifying is make you $18 back.
And then, and I said, look, mate, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, that's not new. Like, that's, and he's like, I only bought it because the guys at the shop said it was the best lawn. Like, they said this, they said that. And I think Buffalo falls into that category about being shade tolerant. The word shade tolerant means that it might be 5% better than Cooch and shade, but because it's 5% better, it's shade tolerant. And that pisses me off because it's not the right advice for customers.
We retail Tiftoff for $15.44 plus GST, so that's what, $17.
Yeah, $17. Yeah.
Keeping in mind, some of that goes to the GST. That's the state government take the GST. Yeah, I think so.
It's all scams.
Someone's got to pay for all of the sporting events we're having. If we didn't pay tax, we wouldn't be able to have gather round and live, and sometimes ambulances. Where are we?
Oh, that's a touchy subject, isn't
I
it?
just fucking think it's fucking stupid that everyone's focused on fucking smacking balls around fucking grass areas, and we've still got ramping. All right, Jed Waddell on Facebook. Thank you for your information. I'll keep trying to make the kite work. If not, I would just like it to be green and look better now. If I move to seed, what would your recommended seed type be?
Is this a shade one or
This is
the guy from Tasmania?
Jake Waddell. I think this is a shaded one.
If it's a shaded one, a fine fescue.
Kaikuyu in a shaded area.
Yeah, so fine fescue, a chewings fescue, or red fescue, which is what?
My fescue blend.
Yep.
We will try to sell that at some point.
Yeah, I can get it. It's just the price point. That's the like.
I got gifted it, so
I know
it's expensive.
you got gifted. It's not. I mean, it's. I think I was able to get. I think I got a kilo of red and a kilo of chewings for about $60 total.
And how many square meters does that cover? Like it was 3 kilos per 100 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like 80 square meters of coverage.
Yeah, I've still got.
So it was like 80 cents a square meter, and we just talked about fucking $17 a square meter. It's an interesting lens to look at.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. But I understand that.
Yeah.
And I always love the chat seed versus sod. And the difficult thing is, if we could replicate a sod cooch that was like Princess 77 or Arden 15, that doesn't cost $300 a kilo. But that's covering thousands of square meters. You're right. That's the different. Yeah, but a lot of people want to visually see something straight away.
Yeah.
Whereas
in a lot of cases, rollout definitely is required. You know, if you've got an open inspection, or you've got an event coming up, or you're trying to sell your house, or you've got you're on the block and you're trying to fucking win another $5,000 for next week. You can't have seed.
No, you can't. No.
Need that $5,000. Got to buy a toilet.
Yeah.
VJ on YouTube. Is there anything to get rid of kike from Sir Walter Buffalo? Spade.
Yeah. Hand pulling.
And like
painting with glypho.
Yeah. Zero pen.
We allowed to say that?
I don't know.
Or are you going to get another letter?
You're not allowed to promote stuff like that? Or are you worried about the fact that glyphosate causes...
No. Again, that's the media. There is so much worse chemicals out there than glyphosate. Glyphosate is more tolerable by humans than some of the other chemicals out there at the moment.
Don't say anything more about that.
I'm not. I'm leaving it.
Our legal budget has been fully extended this financial year. I need the new budget to come through so we can start some more fights.
But I don't know if any of the legal budget's been spent on anything I've said.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. All right, fuck it. Nick Kinbacher. I'm sorry, I'd like to get this right. On YouTube, your sprayer or the Milwaukee spray pack? I'm guessing that's the Solo 414 versus the Milwaukee spray pack. I don't know. I haven't seen the Milwaukee spray pack. I don't have a comment. I do like the 414.
Yeah, I've not used the Milwaukee one.
Didn't we reach out to these guys to give us some shit for free so I could test it? And
yeah.
Do they get back to you or
crickets?
Oh, that's not my department.
Just on the different sprayers, excuse me, that muffin's just hit lockdown, I think. The thing about nozzles, sprayers is nozzle selection. I don't know what the adaptiveness of a Milwaukee sprayer is to get a nozzle. I don't know if you can only use the one that comes with it, or you're allowed to. Or you
should be able to. You'd assume
in theory. But I had some guy bring a sprayer in that he bought off eBay. He just wanted it, and he wanted to adapt to get the upgraded nozzle kit, but I don't know what thread they were using. This sprayer come with, but not even Jared's magical box could sort of thread out that would adapt it to fit it. So, I think sometimes it's nozzle selection
over sprayer.
Over sprayer is more important. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and buy a 414 or any solid sprayer that we sell, but anything with a 3/8 thread, I know that our nozzle upgrade, that fits it. And at the end of the day, I don't care what spray you buy, but sometimes, and there are fungicides, there are herbicides, and there are fertilizers that require a different nozzle to get the best result. And I've said it before, say it again. The products that we sell, I consider an investment, because you're paying, say, for example, like Barricade is 1 litre, you're paying $240. You need a coarse nozzle if you want to get the most out of that product. So, if you want
buying a performance car and sticking shitty fuel in it.
You're not going to put 91 in a car that needs ethanol.
I've been running 95 in mine. I'm going to test how close I can get it. Fuck it, not my problem.
No, it's not. No,
It'll
no.
be your problem.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Or it'll be Ervo's problem when he's doing some Sahara bullshit, driving fucking in his new company car because I got a new car.
Yeah.
He's just like, this fucking engine seems a bit off.
It's
Like,
a bit rattly.
yeah, Clint hasn't been using oil.
Yeah, the tappets have come a bit loose.
Bearded Sith, g'day, clean Jonesy. That's us. Joel on YouTube, if you had to describe your personality as a grass variety, which grass would you be? I'm Kaikuya every day of the week.
At the moment, bent. I can be up one day and down the next because I'm going through some things. But once I'm stable, just you're straight to the run of the mill Santa Ana. Just you know what you're going to get.
I'm Kaikuya.
I love Santa Ana. I love it.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Invasive. Hard to control.
Pass Balaam. But yeah, that's a good question actually.
Well, yeah, it started with I like this question, which is Kira just sprinkling her love on it. We've got about 13 minutes to 12, so I'm going to finish by asking the last questions that are on the screen and no more, and then we're going to choose some prizes. So if you've got a question you haven't posted it, I'm sorry you don't get it answered today, but please stay tuned. We do this every week. I think next week we're at Live, aren't we? No, the week after.
Week after.
What are we going to do there? We're not going to do a podcast?
Oh, we could do it on the Wednesday.
We could do it in the...
Well, no, we're at
we could do it in Rowan's office on the Friday. Do you think Rowan would support that? We'll have to ask him.
I think he would be. It'd just be his superiors maybe that may
Yeah,
not.
we'll do it in the toilet.
You might get yelled at again. I was shocked. Shocked?
Shuck.
Hang on.
It's
Are
like
we
an oyster.
Shaken, are we at Live on Wednesday morning?
We're there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Thursday's Anzac Day.
We're there Thursday. You don't have to be, but we are.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
They're going to do a dawn service, like an impromptu or impromptu. They're going to do a planned dawn service, but not an Anzac venue.
Yeah, that's fine. So we're not there the Wednesday anymore?
No, I don't think we were. We were either going to be there for 3 days. Sorry, we're going to be there for 7 days or 4 days.
Yeah, okay.
We're there for 4 days.
Yeah, I can be there on the Thursday morning. That's fine.
So it just depends if, like, Mudge wants to go do the dawn service that he might traditionally do. But as long as there's 2 of us, we're fine. And then if your dad's like, I don't give a fuck, I'm there every day,
mate,
then
he was this far away from Cam Smith and got to meet Greg Norman. He's
I've been holding on to this I was going to talk to you about it later, but I've got you and him a corporate ticket on the Friday.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So you can tell him that whenever you want. You can
he's off the grog as well because of his heart. So I might just legitimately be a little boy spectator, just enjoying the moment. To be honest,
well, that area gets a bit out of control.
Well, yeah, especially if Bert Cross is going again, takes his shirt off.
Well, you can do with that what you want. You could sell them if you want.
Nah.
So yeah, I just thought that would be something nice to give back to him for helping us out. Obviously, he doesn't expect anything in return, but
all the buckets, the Trojan buckets that you're getting with the stickers on them, that's what he's been doing for the last 4 weeks.
He's working for us.
Yeah.
User 3515 on TikTok. Do you guys ship to New Zealand?
Depending on what it is,
we can.
The freight charge will be custom, so it's not going to be like your $16.95. It's going to be like
might be $30 or something.
Yeah, depending on what
38
it is.
New Zealand dollars.
If you're after a chemical, we just need to make sure that it's allowed in your country. There are some things we sell that aren't allowed in your country, and there's things that you sell that aren't allowed in our country as well. So it'd be custom, but absolutely, yeah.
Very happy to look at that. Email adam@lawnhub.com.au and we can answer that question, price you up on freight if you would like to buy that stuff. WaterPro, which is one of our other businesses, ships to New Zealand regularly. Don't tell the local irrigation distributors.
Yeah, I was going to say, it still baffles me that the amount of money that bloke's
Bearded Sith, thoughts on the best small petrol cylinder mower? 14 inches.
Yeah.
I thought that was funnier than anyone else did.
I was just look. I've only ever had Scott Bonners and Rovers, so I'm always going to go back to what I know. If you can find a decent unit for a decent price that doesn't have still this almost said it, but the C tax on it.
I spoke to I believe him to be the owner or a very senior person at Stanford when I bought my last mower about a month ago. And I said to him, why don't you have the Cox mowers here? And I said, you've only got Bush Ranger and the green one. Massport. And he's like, these two brands give us better after-sales support than any other companies.
Yeah, well.
That's why we choose to have these here.
Yep.
And so I have a Bush Ranger and I have a Massport and I have a Scott Bonner. My father-in-law has a Cox. He's very happy with that mower. He's not a massive lawns. He's got like smaller than yours out the front and twice the size of that out the back kind of thing. He rates that. He likes it. I guess from a cost standpoint, I would happily put the Massport and the Bush Ranger on the same tier as far as quality service. I mean, I had a Bush Ranger issue and they fixed it. And I don't even consider that it was a warranty issue. The guard fell into the blade and they just gave me a new one. So that's my answer. I haven't had anything to do with the other cheaper. Was it Super Swift?
Yeah, no, I've not used it.
I saw Allmake had a bunch of mowers that come in. They were Protea, weren't they?
They must, yeah.
They had a fuckload, like 8 or 10.
Protea must have sorted out their issues then.
But they were like, this is limited time. So I think they're a lot more expensive per inch. So if you're looking for the cheapest, I'd look at the Massport, based on the recommendations from a mower shop, so the Massport or the Bush Ranger, but also I don't want to talk negatively about the after-sales support around the other brands because I don't really know.
No.
So,
no. But, I think the biggest thing is maintenance on those things. They require a hell of a lot more maintenance than a standard rotary mower.
Maintenance?
Yeah, maintenance on a cylinder mower.
I don't know that.
No, well, sorry, that's gone over my head what you just did. But because I thought I said a word wrong, and I was like, no, I'm still ticking up here, but I think I said maintenance right. But yeah, if you keep on top of the maintenance, especially on older Scott Bonners, like their parts are a lot older. Like Dad's mower's older than me. The parts on are older than me. They just require more touching, feeling, tinkering. And I might just drop it off to Daryl over winter, and he can fix it, and I'll come back and we have a new 20-inch Scott Bonner and we go from there. But, yeah.
Mr. Mumbles on YouTube. I've put down bow and arrow and a couple of weeks later NSFW. The clover yellows but doesn't die. Time for a fire, ?
I mean, Manina?
Yep.
Manina talked about fires and weeds, and it's not always the best way.
It might encourage it.
Yeah, it might encourage it. So
plus, do you guys sell nozzles for Sylvan sprayers?
Yeah, see, I don't know what a Sylvan head is. I don't know. I mean, if it's 3/8, yes. If it's not,
we should find out. Then we can just update the description and say this fits this fits this. I might make a note about that.
Yeah, I'll just go into the shop and the green shop and just undo all the boxes. Yeah, that fits. Nah. We'll go in like this too, so you know exactly what's going on.
It's all right, man. We've got protection. Adam on YouTube, rough timestamp on solo wands being back in stock so I can order a sprayer and a wand at the same time.
The brass one, and this is not us, but the stock on that is sporadic as like we'll order say 20 and then 20 will come in. Sometimes we order 10 and none come in for two or three weeks. When we introduced them to the Lawnhub website, they were out of stock in Australia for 4 months, and I put that down to us selling them. And I'm like, that was the only thing, because it's funny because we talk about this all the time. If we do something on our website or we introduce something, there's certain websites that then copy. So
oh fuck! Did you see the ad I shared with you this morning?
Yeah. So
it's like our marketing department if you ordered it on Wish
or Temu now, isn't it? Yeah. But I'll find out from Jai if they might be on back order, and if that's the case, we don't have an answer because you ring them and they go, they're pretty good usually.
5 minutes. Bearded Sith on YouTube. When are we going to get that PDF on what spray products we can use with what ones in what spray bottles?
Yeah, it's on the spray pack web.
Let's do a specific one. So a tank mix chart, right?
Yeah.
We'll do that. I've got an idea for how that looks in my head.
I think maybe over winter as well, we'll update our calendars and use the information and feedback that we've been given to put them back in and take some information out that's not necessary anymore. And so, Kira, if you're listening, we got work to do this
I'm getting
winter.
laughing emojis from her continuously. Further to that, also your Spartan should be called Glory Hole, as we don't understand what's going on behind the curtain, but the ending was good. Can probably name it Happy Ending or Blue Balls, as the weeds don't get to come out. You could call that closet. Where are we? Chad's on YouTube. Ideally, how often should you be watering buffalo and cooch lawns? Also, I have a patchy buffalo. What's your best course of action? We've covered the patchiness recently. Obviously, it's really dependent on why it's patchy. If it's sun, that's a problem that you're probably not going to be able to overcome. If it's amendments, then it's something that you can overcome. You could use a soil test. It's likely that it's patchy from shade in a lot of cases.
So many variables.
Send some photos through to adam@lawnhub.com.au and he'll have a look at it. With regards to irrigation, it's really important for all of us to stop thinking about how long we should water for and start thinking about how much water we should put out, because not all applications of water are created equally. It's a good rule of thumb to apply 25 mil of water a week and then adjust, as we talked about earlier, based on your area, the season, evaporation, shade, demands, all that kind of thing. 25 mil of water is 25 litres per square metre per week, which you can reverse engineer. And if you go to Water Pro's channel, there's a lot of stuff about that. If that's not enough of an answer, I'll do another talk about irrigation next week, but I did one 3 or 4 weeks ago, so you can go back and find it. While we were talking today, I'm thinking of a better way for us to clip the answers to these questions, and I think we could actually post each question's answer as a video. I'll talk to Dylan about that later. Hey Kira, say thanks to Adam for opening my email. My package arrived today without me knowing. That was from Nat Tree on YouTube. Where are we?
On the water as well, I know we're on time constraints.
Not your time, not my time.
Yeah, that's fine.
I got nowhere to be.
Yeah, that's fine. And it's so important to understand, but it is quite difficult to comprehend for people that don't understand that if you had a set of MP rotators and you have a proper system, and depending on the situation, you might need to water for, say, 4 hours a week, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that the amount of water coming out in 4 hours is like you had the tap open for 4 hours, if that makes sense.
It's not.
Yeah.
In most irrigation system designs, it's the same as you having the tap open at 80% for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because we obviously designed to an adjusted maximum, but you might only need 4 sprinklers, and it could be like the tap being open 10% for 4 hours.
Yeah.
I did a really good explanation of this in a Water Pro training session and talked about how to calculate the application rate using a garden hose and just working out your litres per hour and all that. I don't want to go into it now because of time, but we can talk about it at another session if you want, or I can try and find a video.
I think it'd be very beneficial, because that was the biggest thing for me when I put in my irrigation system, was trying to figure out, well, I don't understand how watering for an hour versus 20 minutes with a dome sprinkler
is not the same.
It's like, but then obviously you look into it and you figure out why.
All right, we'll do something on that. Maybe that can be my first irrigation module. Luke Flash on Facebook. Do you boys at Lawnhub do granular fertilizer / weed and feed, as your brand is all foliar? I live in Queensland and I feel I have more benefits from granular over foliar products, i.e. products last longer due to weather and environment. All right. So the first viral pack that we did was a weed and feed, a professional weed and feed, a concentrated weed and feed. The weed was liquid and the feed was granular. As far as I know, and the reason why is because of the way that it works, you can't get a granular weed because the way the product works is it has to be applied to the leaf. And so if you throw out a granular weed killer, it's going into the soil, whereas most of these weeds need contact on the actual leaf. So the only way we could do that would be to supply you with a granular raw product that you mixed with a liquid and then sprayed it onto your thing, which defeats the whole purpose of what we're trying to achieve, and it obviously causes issues, and it probably doesn't even exist. So the closest you're going to get to a granular weed and feed product is what's on the thing here that you might not be able to see depending on what camera's pointing at it. Is that this one here? Which is a granular fertilizer, which we recommend you put out prior to the weed. which is so the Trojan goes out 10 days later. Once you've got weeds and grass actively growing, then you apply NSFW, which is a foliar application. It needs to dry on the leaf, kills broadleafs and other broadleaf weeds and other weeds, and hopefully makes your father-in-law stop talking about you behind your back.
There are
at
granular
weddings.
herbicides, except the application is vastly different and they require a lot more. There's a lot more steps to having an efficient granular granular herbicide versus just spraying it on the leaf and leaving it. Like for time and for like ease, herbicides, liquid all every day of the week. Get that contact versus the root up. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, prize packs.
Yes, I like the question in the beginning about, and we spent a bit of time on it. He had about 4 or 5 questions in one.
Nathan Bryce Tasker on Facebook, which with granular products, how do they absorb into plants' roots? Yep, that was one that Kira even stuck a fucking star on. So congratulations, Nathan Bryce Tasker on Facebook. You have won a spray pack.
Because he was new to lawn care, wasn't he?
He was. He doesn't have a sprayer, but he will have the products. Tell you what, Nathan, what we're going to do is you can choose between us sending you a spray pack, or we'll find a sprayer, which is an equivalent value or close to it, without us being dickish. It probably won't be the 414, but maybe a smaller sprayer, like the 6406 or whatever the fuck it's called, or a handheld one.
406.
And then you can start spraying liquids. I've also got twins, dude, so I fucking resonate with what 8-month-old twins is like. And no one will actually say this because everyone's soft, but if you think having a kid a year apart from another kid is like having twins, then you don't know what it's like having twins. And Nathan, you will be copying a lot of that. So we'll hook you up with a sprayer or a spray pack, whatever the fuck you want. Message us through.
Or a combination of products to meet the same value, whatever.
What is it, $100, $110, 100, whatever. They'll work it out. So message us. The Instagram one was... Best question on Instagram was, please hold. Come on, guys. You guys are hanging to find out what's going on here. What is this? Where is the question? I don't know what I'm doing. Fairy ring, jumpsuits. You have a look at that. I can't find any that jump out. And I'll find one on YouTube. Sorry, guys. Radio silence. We should really do this while we're doing it, shouldn't we? You know? I like Adam's question on YouTube about what's the go with Clint's keychain. Shows that he's a keen listener.
Yes, it does.
Are you good with that?
Yep.
All right, Adam on YouTube. If you haven't already won a prize in the last 10 podcasts, then congratulations. You just won a spray pack. Can you email Adam at Lawnhub with your details and he will sort it out. And Jonesy's going to try and find an Instagram one.
I can't get the comments open.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I liked the...
While he's doing that, I will just touch base on our charity charity lawn day that we're working on. I have asked Jonesy to come up with a name for that. It was very important that he champions that. I would have just taken over if it was not something that was close to his heart. But we are going to do something in the last weekend of October. Is that right?
Yes, the 26th, I think
we'll probably run it over the entire weekend so people can choose to do something on the Saturday or something. Oh, I don't know how that's going to work. What do you do yours on the Saturday?
Yeah.
So we'll do it on the Saturday, otherwise it gets too complicated. If you choose to do it on the Sunday as well, it will still count. I'll probably work out a way to set up some kind of GoFundMe or some other way of getting donations and group tracking and all that shit. We might cover fees just so that we know that all the money that's raised legitimately goes to the charity. Jonesy will then have his thing. Adam just said, "Oh, piss off." I think he's happy about it. And then we'll have an event where Jonesy will be having his event, and then everyone can either have a golf day or a bocce day or a frisbee day, you know, connected to golf. We'll raise money to donate to charities that support people with mental health challenges. Obviously, Jonesy and I both, that's close to home for both of us. And who's winning?
Hayden Tinney, the one about Fairy Ring, because I think he needs some. I think he needs some good, because Fairy Ring's going to be a long battle.
There you go, Hayden. Well, thank you for your question. If you want to send us a message, we will hook you up with a spray pack. Thank you to everyone that tuned in today. We appreciate your feedback.
Yes.
It will be discussed, and we'll work out whether or not we need to change this. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of the same people here.
Which isn't a bad thing. But I understand the feedback that we got at the beginning about, repetitive, and, I fully understand that. And, it's something that we'll look at vetting a bit better. But, yeah.
That's it. Keep it green. See you next week.
Salada.